The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. states strong affirmation of the century-old nationhood and the nation's duty to safeguard its rights during the celebration of the country's 126th Independence Day. Former Congressman Arnolfo Teves Jr.'s legal counsel slams the Department of Justice over the alleged rearrest of his client by the Timor-Leste authorities. Some political analysts say Filipinos' distrust on China was due to the tension in the West Philippine Sea and has nothing to do with buying Chinese products. And we will discover why the eldest living son of United States President Joe Biden has been found guilty of gun crimes. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, the 12th of June, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the celebration of the country's 126th Independence Day. According to the president, the celebration is more than just a commemoration of the birth of the Philippine Republic. Nelma Buhok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Wednesday, June 12, drew inspiration from the heroism of the Filipinos' forefathers to highlight the celebration of Philippine independence. In his toast remarks during the Vandinur at the Malacanang Palace, President Marcos said the celebration is more than just a commemoration of the birth of the Philippine Republic. It's a strong affirmation of our century-old nationhood and the nation's duty to safeguard what our forefathers have fought and died for.
So that we may carry out our sacrosanct mandate to protect
our country and to defend everything that is rightly ours from those who will try to cross these lines.
The president said the glow is not lost in the Filipinos and even highlighted that the nation's patriotic sentiments can awaken easily whenever the country's interest is tested. PBBM also articulated the Philippines' support for the rule of law and a rules-based international order in dealing with pressing matters affecting the world.
Our is grounded on the continuing promotion and work for peace and the continuing promotion and work for our national interest.
The chief executive also pointed out the government's resolve to practice diplomacy and other peaceful and constructive steps to establish friendly and fruitful relationships with other nations. The Vandinur is an official reception hosted by the President of the Philippines at Malacanang Palace, traditionally held on New Year's Day and on Philippine Independence Day. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Vice President Sara Duterte lauded the Filipino forefathers and ancestors for their courage and patriotism, which made possible for the country's freedom and democracy. Meanwhile, the Vice President showed support in banning gadgets in schools, but with exemptions. Lelaine Moreno details why.
Vice President Sara Z. Duterte leads the celebration of the country's 126th Independence Day at the Rizal Park in Davao City this morning. In her message, VP Sara honors the Filipino forefathers and ancestors for their courage and patriotism, which made the country's freedom and democracy possible.
The freedom we experience in the present is a result of the unyielding resolve of our ancestors to reclaim our right to govern ourselves as a sovereign nation, pursue the aspirations of our people, and manage our own economic resources.
Duterte said that Independence Day is not only a celebration of the country's liberation, but also emphasizes the importance of remembering the adversities the Filipinos overcame. For the first time after how many weeks of no public engagements, VP Sara appeared in public following the rumors about her health. last May 31, his brother Congressman Paolo Pulong Duterte greeted him, "Happy birthday and get well soon." When asked by the media, she said,
"Well, I'm okay. So, yes. Maraming salamat sa birthday greetings. Dili na ko maisa-isa ang ako ang pasalamat sa tanan nga nag-greet og birthday greetings o ang ilahang mga wishes sa maayong panglawas. And I am happy to be here in Davao City, and I wish all the Baweños, unang-una, kalma lang ta, ikaduha, Happy Independence Day sa inyong tanan.
The Vice President also denied having knowledge of the rumors regarding the suspension of his brother Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte.
Wala ko'y nahibalaan na information about suspension ni Mayor Baste Duterte. Kung doon na may ingana nga papel or document na suspension niya, wala to na lang nato, no? And let us wait kung unsa ang mga legal actions ni Mayor Baste Duterte.
The Vice President also supports the banning of gadgets in school, but with exemptions.
We are okay for the banning of use of gadgets for personal use, subject to exceptions. Kung ang iyahang personal gadget ginagamit niya sa pag-eskwela or sa lesson sa maestra, dapat doon ay mga exceptions, particularly kung ginagamit sa learning and teaching ang gadget.
Lenin Moreno, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Several House Solons say it is time to put an end to the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators or POGO. But according to House Speaker Martin Romualdez, bills aiming to ban POGO will have to go through the process, and stakeholders will also be heard on the matter. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Freedom from poverty, injustice, and corruption. This is the message of House Speaker Martin Romualdez as he led the celebration of the 126th Philippine Independence Day in Malolos, Bulacan.
Tayo bilang mga Pilipino sa makabagong panahon ay may tungkuling ipagpatuloy ang laban para sa kalayaan. Hindi lamang laban sa mga mananakop, kundi hindi laban sa kahirapan, katiwalian at kawalan ng katarungan.
As the Philippines commemorates the 126th Independence Day, his fellow lawmakers in the House of Representatives hope the country will be freed from the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators or POGO. This is amidst the series of illegal activities and crimes associated with POGOs. Surigao del Norte 2nd District Representative Robert Ace Barbers, chairperson of the House Committee on Dangerous Drugs, hopes President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will heed the call of the legislators. He stated there's no redeeming value in POGOs and we should not wait a more minute in closing them totally and completely. He added we should not let the country be destroyed by an alien culture of crime and gambling. Both House Deputy Minority Leader, ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro and Manila 6th District Representative Benny Abante Jr. have filed bills aiming to ban POGOs in the country.
Kaya kami sa Makabayan, matagal na yung aming posisyon dito na hindi dapat pinayagan ang POGO dito sa Pilipinas. At ngayon, ganun pa rin yung aming posisyon, no, na iban itong POGO na ito dahil wala itong naidulot na buti. So siguro kung meron, baka iilan yung mga kumita dito at hindi yung pangkaramihan sa Pilipino.
Because this POGO also affect our economy. You see, not only affecting the moral dimension of the Filipinos, but the economy as well. So, hindi naman dito kumikita ang Pilipinas. Ang kumikita dito ang Chinese.
At present, 3 bills have been filed in the House of Representatives to completely ban POGO in the country. House Bill number 10525 of the Makabayan Bloc, House Bill number 5082 of Representative Abante, and House Resolution number 1197 of Cagayan de Oro City Representative Rufus Rodriguez. Meanwhile, according to Speaker Romualdez, the proposed laws will go through the process of the House and stakeholders will be heard regarding the issue.
Dadaan din yan sa isang proseso, sa mga hearings. So, papakinggan natin lahat ng mga stakeholders kung ano mga posisyon nila dito at doon natin titimbang kung anong dapat ang pinakamagandang gawin natin.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Former Congressman Arnolfo Teves Jr.'s legal counsel slams the Department of Justice over the alleged rearrest of his client by the Timor-Leste authorities. Dante Amento tells us why.
Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, lawyer for former Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Arnie Teves Jr., clarified that his client was not rearrested. Topacio stressed Teves Jr. was only put under the court's custody.
Hindi re-arrested kasi hindi naman arresto to in the strictest sense of the word. He was placed under the custody of the court.
Recently, the Department of Justice, or DOJ, disclosed that the former legislator was released from prison but subsequently rearrested by the Timor-Leste police. Topacio further said putting Teves in court's custody is allegedly a normal process as the court hears the extradition request by the Philippine government. It is the same process being observed in the Philippines.
The court may ask that the extraditee be placed in the custody of the court to ensure that he will be attending the proceedings. So yun po yun. So hindi po totoo ang sinasabi ni Asek Labano that misleading daw or irresponsible yung aking statement.
Meanwhile, in a new statement by the Justice Department, Secretary Crispin Rimulya advised Topacio to avoid baseless pronouncements against the state that allegedly malign the integrity of the country's justice system. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, in a troubling report by the United Nations, or UN, year 2023 saw extreme levels of violence against children caught in conflicts. UN highlights a 21% rise in grave violations against children under the age of 18. 30,705 violations were verified by the UN in 2023. 15,800 boys and more than 6,250 girls were affected, while some were also subjected to multiple violations. According to the annual report on children in armed conflict, Israel, the Palestinian territories, Sudan, Myanmar, and Ukraine saw unprecedented child casualties. With this, the Israeli forces, Hamas, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad are now blacklisted for violating children's rights and for attacking schools and hospitals. The eldest living son of United States President Joe Biden has been found guilty of gun crimes. Early Briones tells us why.
Hunter Biden, son of United States President Joe Biden, could face jail time after being found guilty by a U.S. federal court jury on Tuesday, June 11, on all three charges relating to the illegal possession of a handgun while using illegal drugs. President Biden said he was ready to accept the outcome of the case and will continue to be there for his son along with his wife and the rest of the family. The chief executive has previously said he would not pardon his son should he be found guilty, and praised Hunter's resilience and strength while recovering from addiction. This is the second guilty verdict to shock the U.S. election campaign, after former President Donald Trump was convicted 2 weeks ago of 34 counts of falsifying business records to conceal payment to a porn star. A sentencing date is yet to be set, but Hunter Biden could face 25 years in prison. Legal experts, however, speculate that he is unlikely to receive that maximum as a first-time offender, with probation being more of a likely outcome than jail time. Early Briones, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Maeve. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The transport group Manibela has concluded their 3-day strike in Baclaran. The strike led to significant traffic disruptions for motorists in the area. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Chairman of the Transport Group Manibela, Mar Valbuena, decided on Wednesday, June 12, to end their 3-day protests against Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program or PUVMP in Baclaran. Valbuena explained that the area is strategic as many motorists are plying Rojas Boulevard, which may amplify their grievances. He noted that they also coincided their protest to the 126th Independence Day to cry out that operators and drivers of traditional jeepneys are still under oppression.
Yung araw ng kalayaan, kaya namin talaga itinaon yung aming protesta, yung dulo ng aming protesta. Gusto nating iparating sa gobyerno na sana magkaroon tayo ng kalayaan sa paghahanap buhay. Hindi po kami kriminal. Legal po kaming naghahanap buhay. Bigyang laya niyo po kami.
They supposed to conduct protests at Mindiola in Manila today, but they refrained to give way to the activity of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Dapat may Mindiola kami kanina. Naisip lang namin na, sige, bigyan nating respeto ang Pangulo, araw ng kalayaan ngayon. Kahit hindi tayo malayang nakakapamuhay, hindi tayo malayang nakakapaghanap buhay, bigyan natin siya ng respeto. Naiangat niya yung ating bandila para sa bayan. Pero sana tuparin niya yung mga pangako niya.
The protests of Manibela occupied lanes of Rojas Boulevard where only one lane is passable. It caused heavy traffic to motorists coming from Rojas Boulevard flyover and EDSA. Manibela is firm to their call to junk the PUVMP. UNTV News is still trying to get a response from the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB. JP Nunez, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Authorities have intensified their search at the Lucky South 99 compound in Porac, Pampanga. Among the items discovered were military badges, GPS trackers, vaults, and various military uniforms. Meanwhile, officials have identified suspects linked to the illegal POGO operation and are preparing to file charges against them. Ryan Nacanlale explains why.
Despite the celebration of country's 126th Independence Day, authorities continued their search operation today, June 12, at the Lucky South 99 compound in Porac, Pampanga. Among the items they found today were military badges, GPS trackers, several sets of military uniforms, a 9mm pistol, ammunition, combat boots, bolts, computers, cell phones, and SIM cards. Some of the buttons had PLA written on them, while others had Chinese Armed Police Force. There were also emergency tags or dog tags on some of the military uniforms that had Chinese characters and even indicated blood types. It is possible that these items are being used as props, or they could belong to a wool, retired, decommissioned, or possibly active personnel. According to the PAOK, they are having the uniforms verified by the Chinese Embassy.
Tirahan ng mga nagtatrabaho rito eh. Tulugan talaga to. May mga uniforme talaga, tapos may mga pang-officer pa, di ba? Pero hindi natin ulitin ko ano pa yan, ipapa-investiga pa natin. At hindi pa natin alam kung ito ba talaga katotohanan na ginagamit o binili lang kung saan o ginagamit lang sa cosplay o whatever. But we are not ruling na ginagamit na ito agad dito. Okay?
Meanwhile, the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission has identified some of the suspects at Lucky South 99 in Porac, Pampanga. According to the PAOK, 15 individuals are set to be charged with human trafficking and possible violations of the cybercrime law. Most of the suspects are foreign nationals, but there are also a few Filipinos who will be included in the complaints.
Combination po ito eh. May mga Filipinos, but mas marami po yung mga foreign nationals. And some of them, when we check, parang dummy. Mga dummy po.
And the roles are?
Sa SEC po, President, Vice President, Treasurer, the normal thing na nakikita niyo po sa mga registration.
2 of them are bosses and 3 are fugitives from other countries. Among those considered as bosses is Wu Lifeng, the Chinese national who was arrested around Lucky South 99 last Saturday. Upon investigation by the authorities, he has a case involving a violent crime in China. His cell phone is also undergoing forensic examination to strengthen the evidence against him. Ryan Lacanlale, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Evacuees in some barangays of La Castellana in Negros Occidental living an 8-kilometer distance from Mount Canlaon were allowed to return to their homes this afternoon. Gladys Duabi tells us why.
Around 300 individuals evacuated in La Castellana Elementary School were already allowed to return to their house today, June 12. These residents are living in Barangay Mansalano and Camandag, accordingly with 8-kilometer distance from Mount Canlaon. Evacuees were filled with joy as they can slowly go back to their normal lives.
Dahil sa bahay, marami kang magawa. Tapos yung maliliit na bata, hindi na sila hinihirap, mainit, doon sa amin malamig eh. Tapos dito, yung mga bata naghihirap dahil maglalagnat, maraming araw, ganun, tapos hindi makatulog. Mas maganda sa bahay. Susunod, dahil yung naano ko yung mga maliliit niya, mabuti kung malalaki kayo lahat. Pero kung meron kayong maliliit, mahirap. Mahirap po pag sinabi niyo na bakit dapat sasama. Meron yung sasakyan dito.
Nalita na lang ko, ma'am. Dire ka bublay, dire kami nga amon ko nga panimalay, wala itong tao. Hindi na, amon, biyakan dito. Okay man lang, hindi man dalok si Mayor, ginatipan man kami sa mga disability. Ay man kami reklamo siya, kanamit man sa niya nga pag-amumasa.
Currently, 300 evacuees were left in La Castellana Elementary School, among the residents living from the 4-kilometer danger zone from Canlaon. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, Canada is gearing up for a summer that is expected to be hotter than usual. Government officials have announced that Canada's central regions will face less rainfall than average. This outlook provides little relief from the current drought and also raises concerns about another catastrophic year for wildfire season. Last year saw the country's worst fire season on record, with over 6,600 fires burning 15 million hectares, about 7 times the typical area. Following a winter with low snowfall and higher temperatures, conditions are primed for potentially severe fires in 2024. Earlier this spring, wildfires in British Columbia and Alberta led to widespread evacuations, though recent cooler weather has helped to calm the situation. So far, the fire season in 2024 has been less intense than last year. However, wildfire activity usually peaks in July and August. The Federal Environment Ministry is also launching a new air quality advisory system and daily smoke forecast maps to better inform Canadians about the health risks from wildfire smoke. In a heartwarming reunion, all 7 members of the popular K-pop group BTS came together today to celebrate the military discharge of their eldest member Jin this Wednesday, June 12. Jin has completed his mandatory military service, which lasted 1 year and 6 months. He was warmly welcomed back by his fellow BTS members RM, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. In a separate photo, the entire BTS lineup, including Suga, was seen together again. True to form, Jin did not disappoint his fans. Shortly after his discharge, he went live on Weverse to greet and thank the army for their unwavering support. He shared some of his experiences and achievements from his time in military training. Meanwhile, BTS leader RM congratulated Jin on his military discharge via an Instagram story. J-Hope also shared a post with photos of himself and Jin, captioned "Time Flies." Tomorrow, June 13, Jin will personally meet some army members at a light hug event, coinciding with BTS's anniversary celebration. Jin was the first BTS member to enter mandatory military service in December 2022. Currently, the remaining 6 members of BTS are still serving. The K-pop supergroup is expected to fully reunite in 2025. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Mavian Dog, live from Australia. Good evening.
The construction of the new Senate building in 4th Bonifacio, Taguig City will not be suspended. This was the clarification made by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano following Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero's order to stop the construction pending the review of its ballooning costs. In a Facebook Live, Cayetano, who chairs the Senate Committee on Accounts, says Phases 1 and 2 of the building will continue while the review is ongoing. But the Phase 3 of the project, worth 10 billion pesos, will be on hold as it has yet to be procured and will be subjected to a comprehensive study. Cayetano also defends the review of the budget, saying that his recommendations were backed by official documents and consultations with former handlers of the project. Earlier, Senator Nancy Binay, who previously chaired the Senate Committee on Accounts, expressed dismay over the decision, saying that she and the former Senate leadership should have been consulted first rather than listening to rumor mongers.
Yung sinasabi po sa news na Phase 1 and Phase 2, ito po'y nabid at ito po'y ongoing. Pwede naman po tuloy yung construction dyan na nire-review namin. Wala pong conflict yon. So hindi po to bulong-bulong or haka-haka. Lahat po to ay official, mga reports, mga documents, no? But voluminous po, napakarami, kaya we're getting through, we're sorting through it.
A lawmaker is seeking a suspension of Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs in the country amid concerns over its illegal activities. Senator Amy Marcos says POGO operations should be suspended until the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation or PAGCOR comes up with a new framework effectively regulating POGOs. The presidential sister adds she has yet to talk with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. over the issue.
Nakikinig naman ako sa PAGCOR at sa ating pamahalaan na kumikita ang Pilipinas dyan. Okay, pero hanggang hindi natin maisaayos, ang akin is suspende muna. Ayusin muna. Pag-aralan natin maigi, alamin natin kung ano yung kailangan baguhin at kung kakayanin, ituloy. On the other hand, kung lumabas na talagang hindi natin kaya i-regulate, katulad nung nangyari sa Isabong, ihinto na yan sa lalong madaling panahon.
While Senator Marcos prefers suspension than outright ban of POGOs, some of her colleagues have been urging the president to order its immediate phase-out. Senator Joel Villanueva says it is high time that the government takes a firm on POGOs in the country. He calls on the government to celebrate the country's independence by kicking out POGOs and freeing the country from the shackles of gambling. The lawmaker also urges his colleagues to support the committee report of the Senate Committee on Ways and Means, recommending the gradual phase-out of POGOs and hopes that it will be reported out in the plenary as soon as possible. Some political analysts say Filipinos' distrust on China was due to the tension in the West Philippine Sea. Experts, however, clarify that this has nothing to do with buying Chinese products. Asher Kadapan Jr. explains why.
Law of supply and demand is applicable to all countries, even among those who have conflict with China. Political analysts explain this as Filipinos continue to buy Chinese products despite Philippines' high distrust rate on China.
Yung law of supply and demand po applicable sa lahat yan. Wala pong kinalaman ng politika dyan. Kaya lang, tandaan natin na kahit natutuwa ang mga Pilipino na mababa ang presyo ng made in China products, hindi sila natutuwa sa mga nangyayari ngayon vis-a-vis China.
Many of the countries that are directly affected by China's saber rattling, like Japan, even South Korea, and even Taiwan, has continued to do business with China. It's not much of a choice kasi in terms of market, napakalaki talaga ng merkado ng China.
Based on an Octa research survey conducted in the first quarter of the year, 91% out of over 1,000 adult Filipinos distrust China.
Di po ako naniniwala sa ng China dahil isa sila sa nagbibigay ng sa atin ng takot sa mga Pilipino, lalo yung mga ginagawa nila sa Philippine Sea.
Yung iba, minsan sangayon ako, pero yung iba na ginawa nila, yung pagkatulad ng pambubumba, yung hindi na ako sangayon doon.
Experts say this is expected due to issues in the West Philippine Sea, particularly China's aggression against Filipinos sailing in disputed waters.
Napipiko na po yung mga ibang kababayan natin sa hindi pagkakaunawaan nitong China at ng ating bansa na tila baga dinadaan ng China sa lakas ang kanilang mga layunin.
That's expected precisely because headlines have been dominated by reports of China escalating its activities in the disputed areas, more so with the threat to arrest Filipinos going to these disputed areas.
The experts, however, advise Filipinos to maintain nationalism and avoid discrimination, especially with the presence of Chinese Filipino communities in our country. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 23, it says, "The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath." And those are the reasons behind the news, June 12, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I'm Harleen Delgado. We serve the people, we give glory to God.